Hey everyone out there in the land of YouTube, this is Annette Dion. I am the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. It is Wednesday night, getting a little late, and it's November 17th, and we're heading into a full moon in Taurus, lunar eclipse. When does that hit? Well, the moon's in Taurus tomorrow, and today. I'm just checking my calendar. If you are a Taurus or your moon is in Taurus, my moon's in Taurus, it's a pretty high energy time for you. I might even come back more than once in the next, I might do a couple more videos because there's so much going on more frequently. Excuse me. So, I just returned from teaching the final class of tarot at the castle, so any of you that were at the class, live streaming in or in person at the medieval castle, Hammond Castle, here on the coast of beautiful Massachusetts. Thanks, it was a lot of fun. We did 8 sessions. We're going to do another class if anyone's interested. AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. We'll do an advanced tarot class for the current group that just finished, and we're also doing another introduction to tarot. So, and if you want to reach me, AnnetteDion7@gmail.com, as I always like to say. But enough of that, let's get to the news. Gosar was censured. I think he should be unseated myself, but I guess there's lots of parameters and stuff in our government. A lot of laws that are pretty loose, I would say, and just pondering all this today, as I do. We are in a time that we've got to strengthen our democracy, you think? Not just that, but we've got to figure out how to stop the violence. We're moving into a very not civil society. I mean, it's been that way before. I was watching Chris Hayes earlier on MSNBC, and he was talking about prior to the Civil War, there was a lot of violence in our government. And you may have heard it said that we're in a time that's very much the same as prior to the Civil War. And I don't say that we're going to have a civil war. That's not what some people say that. Some people even ask me that. No, we're kind of in it. You know what I mean? It's like we've been in a civil war for a little while now. Several years, since, 45 at least. It definitely accelerated then. He threw accelerant on the fire. So Gosar, we're going to look at whether he is going to pipe down. He was stripped of his assignments. I mean, frankly, what assignments? I don't even know what assignments he was even on, but some of these Republicans honestly do nothing. Remember, 45 used to always say the do-nothing Democrats. Master projector. Beware of the people that point to you and say, you're doing the thing that they actually do that drives you crazy, right? Beware of those people. When that goes on, just leave. Walk away. It's not even worth the energy. When they point to you and say you're doing something that they're actually doing, leave. Anyway, that's what 45 would do all the time. The do-nothing Democrats. The do-nothing Republicans that go back to their states and say to their constituents, oh, like Mitch McConnell, oh, going back to Kentucky, like I said the other day. Oh, that infrastructure bill was a godsend. Was he for it? No. Did he vote for it? No. The do-nothing Republicans, let's call them. The do-nothing violent Republicans. AOC, she stood up there today, and that woman is, after what she's been through, she must take lessons from Pelosi. I just dropped a card. Hang on. I had said a couple readings ago that I felt like these threats of violence against females, because it's against females, when does it end, right? This has been going on for centuries. Thousands of years. I did see the elder members of Congress really having like putting like a protective shield, like mama bear energy, around these sort of freshman representatives. I do see them looking out for especially for their younger colleagues that are being threatened. And the Six of Cups is coming up. Yeah, it's the cups are like, this is hard, but there's support too. So it's not all bad. And when people are behaving in dark ways, often it brings out the love in others who have empathy and they want to be supportive. So none of that to say anything about Gosar being okay in any way, manner, shape, or form. As many people have said, if somebody did that at a job, they would be let go immediately. Our democracy is being tested. I have received a message from the guides on many different occasions that the reason the 45 got into office was not to destroy our democracy. This is big, big, big view. Big picture, big. Back up and look at the big perspective. If you want to look at energy and why things happen as they do, and you look at the big picture, our democracy had lots of holes in it and still does. Lots of holes in it. So what's happened is somebody like 45 came along with lots of malicious intent, lots of racism, lots of revenge rage, lots of bravado and bullying, and lots and heaps and heaps and heaps of malignant narcissism to show us where the holes are, where we're not safe, where we're not protected, where we need stronger laws. It was a matter of time before somebody, a sociopathic malignant narcissist, came along and saw how far he could push things, and he pushed things pretty damn far because we almost lost everything. If January 6th had gone according to plan, and there were a lot of plans as we're finding out, enough to make your hair curl, like I like to say, then China would be the world leader. If they had succeeded on January 6th, then we'd be looking at a different world. Let it sink in. I do feel the light workers really rising up, and really, these are very serious times where we have to all do our part and participate in making this a better country to start. And on that note, Beto ORourke is running for governor. Not sure when that race happens. I've pointed to Beto before as a true, the word patriot has been like really taken to mean something else, but he's a true patriot in the true sense of the word. Beto ORourke he jumped into the race, and that gives me hope. People that are brave and people who care about the benefits, the welfare of others. I mean, looking out for others, because we're all supposed to look out for each other. People like that rising to, positions of leadership and or potential leadership. And AOC is another example. There's a lot of examples, actually, if you really think about it. Yeah, there's some really smart people in leadership positions right now. Beto is one, and Stacey Abrams is one. And, the smart people. Intelligence and empathy and compassion, they go hand in hand most of the time. All right, so what are we looking at? We're looking at, let's look at Gosar, since we were talking about it. And The reason I said I might come back tomorrow again or the next day is that there's a lot to talk about, right? Gosar. Okay. Gosar is not liking his position right now. All he got was censured and stripped of his committee appointments. From what I heard, I was busy today. I didn't really check the news a lot, but I do know that they made progress on stripping him of his duties. I wish they would unseat him. The Two of Pentacles, actually, they're looking to do more. They're looking to really damage his position. He's too dangerous. He's violent. His own siblings have been speaking out for a long time. Even his own sister, she was on Lawrence O'Donnell, and she was so scared for what her brother might do. They had an ad on TV for the other guy when he was running, when Gosar was running. They had an ad for the other guy and spoke of how awful that their brother, is it Paul Gosar? I don't know. I can't even look at the guy. Yeah, so Gosar has lost his position, and he actually feels regretful. But you have to understand, people that are sociopaths, the only thing they regret is they're not sorry. What they regret is that they got caught. What they regret is they didn't get away with it. That's what they actually regret. Now, so they're still looking at it. There's a lot of females in Congress who are looking at this and saying, you know what? We need to do more. We need to punish him further. They're weighing it out. The Prince of Pentacles, I feel there's a male in government who's going to put the hammer down. Who might that be? I think I've lost all three of my pendulums. I don't know. I have a pendulum problem. It's hilarious. We'll use the fake one. I mean, not the fake one, the one I made. It's not fake. It's real, see? Who is that? Who is that? Is it Adam Schiff? Huh, it might be Adam Schiff that I feel like really comes down on Gosar. There's somebody in a position of leadership it might be Schumer. I feel like it's Schumer, who's going to have a lot to say about his colleague. And AOC, we got to pray for these people's protection. That we are witnessing one party violently attacking the other and getting followers that violently are attacking our government is concerning. Extremely concerning. Extremely. Let's look at the January 6th Commission. Gosar was a big part of that. Let's look at how the January 6th Commission is doing. How are they doing? I see mountains of papers. That's symbolic. The January 6th Commission has mountains of stuff to go through. Gosh, why can't they just say, you did it and be done with it and off you go to jail? Wouldn't that be easier? Oh my gosh, the amount of resources that we would save. Yeah, I feel like whatever the January 6th Commission is looking at, it's like they just keep going deeper down the rabbit hole, and it's just like the more there is, the more there is, the more there is, the more there is. And I'm getting the name of a country that starts with R, like I always do. Entertainment purposes only. The Five of Cups, it's very distressing. It's very distressing what they have to look at, the January 6th Commission, all the evidence. And it's actually a bit traumatizing. Kind of like I can't watch those videos of January 6th. Kind of like, when they, they have those warnings. If you're sensitive, you might not want to watch this, so here's fair warning. I can't watch them. I watched a few, and then I was like, I can't watch it. I just can't. It's too hard. It's too heartbreaking. So that's what I'm seeing with this. It's really heartbreaking. The January 6th Commission is doing a lot of difficult work. Send light to them. The Three of Pentacles is, like I'm saying, this is the beginning. I don't mean they just started, but what I mean is they're building a case. I feel like they have extorted, not in an illegal way, but they've They've managed to extract, is a better word, a lot of information. I was wondering about Mark Meadows the other day. I'm trying to remember what I said about Mark Meadows. I actually saw Mark Meadows telling on himself. Maybe not massively, but I actually saw Mark Meadows. Oh yeah, I remember now. The Hermit card came up, so it was like he was feeling like all alone and isolated, and like he didn't know where to turn. So apparently he can't turn to 45. Yeah, but I do see him speaking. I do see him. The guides are showing me Meadows showing up, like, because he got subpoenaed and he didn't show up. But the guides are showing me that he'll eventually show up. In some context, he'll eventually show up, and he's kind of looking like the schoolboy that got caught, you know, with the hand, you know, in the cookie jar. And he got caught, and so he's feeling like, you know, all right, this is Meadows. I just see him going, like, all right, I'll, you know, begrudgingly coming along. The Eight of Pentacles, yeah. I always get that the January 6th Commission has everything that they need. Now, so let's ask a better question then. When are we going to see some real action? Some real action. Coming into a holiday week, the end of the year, 3 major holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or, you know, whatever you celebrate, and the New Year. I'm not feeling a slowdown. I'm not feeling a slowdown of news, that's for sure. I want to see, I want to go a little further into the January 6th Commission in terms of when we'll see some real results. Now, if you have been watching the astrology and you've been watching other psychics and stuff like that, which I know you do because we all have the same audience. It's kind of fun to participate in that. You've heard that 45's luck runs out. His Jupiter luck runs out on the 19th. Which is like a couple days? I'm sorry. Okay. Oh yeah. The January 6th Commission. I just wanted a little bit further information. The Four of Swords is like, this is a bit of a rest. It's a lot. Like I was just saying, it's a lot for them. It's a bit of a rest. It's a bit of a need to recharge before stuff comes up that's gonna, this is a tower, that's gonna blow everyone out of the water. I don't mean literally. I mean stuff is gonna come up that's gonna be mind-blowing. And the Four of Wands, and then we see some real arrests. I'm getting that we see some real arrests then. Time frame, that's always hard on the psychic dimension, from the spiritual dimension. Time frame, I see the month of March, and that could be when people actually are being sent to jail. Now, I haven't checked in on the Bannon situation. I kind of tuned in today a little bit. I mean, I haven't checked in on the news. I did tune in a little bit to him, and I feel like Bannon is feeling like, since he's blown a lot of smoke, but since he had to show up, and then, you know, like I said, it was like he was throwing meat to the press. He was speaking in code, just like what I said. I saw it on the news later. That's exactly what he was doing. He's got a strategy planned, but I do feel him weakened. There was something about, he didn't literally get arrested, but there was something about having to report that, I don't know, he thought he wouldn't have to do that. It's almost like it took him down a notch in his mind anyway. I do feel Bannon is in a weakened state, and he's, the word humiliated is coming up. Why would he be humiliated? That's interesting. Because he has no pride, or no decency. Let's look at Bannon. I wasn't going to. I don't want to look at his ugly face. And I don't mean ugly face like he's just an ugly person. When I lived in the South for a while, if you're from the South, you hear it. You hear it. He's being all ugly. He's being all ugly. I always like that one. Don't be ugly. Ugly, 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 ugly. It's not about appearance. It's about the being. All right, what do we see with Bannon? Really? What I see with Bannon is that he's not going to get what he deserves. I mean, he's going to, wow, that the Eight of Wands is saying he's going to squeal on 45. That's what I'm getting in order to get himself in. Okay, so he's going to get real selfish. He's going to squeal on 45. Bannon is, in order to get himself in a better position. The Queen of Swords, he said something about Pelosi. Ooh, he's got it coming to him. You don't mess with her. And Pelosi, this is personal for Pelosi, because they personally came after her to execute her with a bullet in the head. They came after Pelosi. So she Nancy is thinking about something. I don't know if Nancy Pelosi was a lawyer, but I just feel like she knows about something that Bannon actually doesn't know about, that she could convict him of, or there's something big going on there. Something big is brewing with Bannon. A little alliteration there. Something big is brewing with Bannon in terms of what they're getting ready to call him out for. Okay, still a bit of a mystery. I haven't been able to really look at the Aubrey trial. Because like I told you, my threshold for darkness gets about to here and then I'm done. And then it's like, okay, light. But just let me tell you, I feel like the Ahmaud Arbery situation, the court case, that horrible, horrible, hard to look at. I do see, I don't know if it's life in prison, but I see pretty harsh sentences. I have not been following that trial, Ahmaud Arbery's that murder trial. But I actually do see, it might be life in prison. So I guess it depends on what state you're in, how harsh the sentence will be. I don't see those guys, those three guys that ganged up on him and shot him dead. I don't see them getting off scot-free. So I'm not going to look at any cards about that. I am going to instead look at the Rittenhouse situation. I want you to know, if you want to know, what I've been picking up. If you're watching me, then you must want to know. And you might be a psychic too, or just tuning in too. Whenever I think of the Rittenhouse trial, I see dollar signs. I see dollars, 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 dollars. I see money. I see, it's almost like it's a commercial, and not literally, but there's been money thrown at Kyle Rittenhouse and that judge. Is that literal? Makeshift pendulum? Is that literal? That is literal. I can't shake that I feel like the judge was paid off. And he's taken Kyle Rittenhouse under his wing. That judge, I'm actually going to pull cards about that judge. That's what I'm going to look at. Judge Schroeder. He might as well be a family member for how bad he's looking. It's totally biased. That's not the job of a judge. Oh. So the judge is going to, it's interesting the Two of Pentacles comes up. It's almost like right now we're just kind of, with these different things that are going on right now, all of them, we're sort of hanging in limbo. Like I said the other day, we're like hanging in the balance. This is that about the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. I know that the defense wants a mistrial. I said that I saw him acquitted. That's what I said. And then shortly after that, they dropped the gun charge. Why? Why would they drop the gun charge? The gun is the root of the murders. Calm down, Annette. 3 of Swords. This is about the judge. The judge is being called out for being so wrong. You take an oath as a judge, right? I don't know actually what the oath is, but to be a judge, you got to go through a lot, and it's all about being fair and not taking sides. I mean, it's about other things too, but it's right in there at the top of the list, right? He's being called out. That judge is feeling like, oh, well, you noticed? Yeah, we noticed how racist you are. Yeah, we noticed how you're siding with Rittenhouse. Yeah, we noticed how you're siding with the idea of acquittal. Yeah, we noticed. The 8 of Pentacles. Okay, this is like, the other day I remember that I saw some kind of a verdict at the end of the day, which is what they were saying on the news could happen. I really think I was picking up on that dropping of the gun charges. I don't have to go on about how illegal what happened with the gun crossing the lines. He's underage. If he's underage, he didn't have a permit. All that. I don't have to go on about that. You already know how wrong that was. I think I was picking up on that the judge was going to allow the gun charge to be dropped. The 8 of Pentacles is the jury. It just feels like the jury's going to drag out the rest of it. I'm seeing continued. I'm seeing the word continued. To be continued. To be continued. How long? Is this going to go past Thanksgiving? No. No. So, all right. So it won't go past Thanksgiving. Okay, phew. It's like, I think that Americans are just, honestly, I think Americans are just exhausted. We're 5 years of just crime after crime, thousands of crimes being committed, and no justice. Is Kyle Rittenhouse going to be acquitted of murder? Is he going to be acquitted? All right, it doesn't look like it. So I must have been picking up on the drug charges. Let's look at the trial itself. Let's look at the trial itself. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I see a retrial. The world is watching. The world is watching the Rittenhouse situation. We're looking pretty bad, and America's looking really heinous in the eyes of the rest of the world. I mean, thank God we have Joe Biden, who's a reasonable individual with tons of experience, who knows all the world leaders. And he was on the phone with the president of China for 3 hours. He knows what to say. He knows about diplomacy. He knows all that stuff. The world is watching. That Rittenhouse trial is going to send a message to the rest of the world about what kind of a country America is. We're looking pretty bad. Gosh. I still see him getting away with it. I'm sorry. I gotta tell you what I see. I still see him getting away with it. I see our justice system not having enough sharp teeth like a great white shark. It can change, you know. The cards tell you where the trajectory is. They can change. Let's go to something else, and then I'll let you go. Gosh, is the violence going to end? I and you probably for many, many years have been very concerned about the gun culture that we live in. The gun and the violence, the guns and the violence, the guns and the violence. And I've talked about it before. You can't avoid violence. If you watch TV shows, if you watch Netflix, if you watch anything, you're going to see guns and violence and sex. The sex is fine, but guns and violence, guns and violence, guns and violence, guns and violence. When kids watch TV, they see guns and violence, and it's like common sense. Common sense. People emulate what they see. So, is the violence going to stop? Are we finally going to rise up and be like humans, like real humans with hearts and souls and love? I mean, we are that. We have that. It's just that this is taken over. Don't let it get you down. There's always hope. The Magician says that we are going to work on changing this society. The spotlight has been shown on the violence for a long time. Remember the other day I said the NRA. I saw a connection with the NRA, with money from the NRA and this Rittenhouse trial. I saw money changing hands. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, I just see money going from the NRA going to violent politicians. Violent politicians. That's what they are. They're violent politicians. And the Magician says we can start changing. As soon as we wake up as a nation, we can change it. And the King of Wands is coming. I see gun laws. I do see gun laws. I do. And I do see the NRA falling apart. And I do see more light. I do feel more light. And I really know we have to keep our eye on the ball, keep our eye on the light, and things are shifting. And it can be for the better. And I will leave you with that, but I do want to mention, I sent an email to Linda G and proposing that we do a Web of Light, a massive group meditation, day and time to be announced. I'm going to get together with I'm going to contact other psychics with YouTube channels that are much larger than mine. I'm pretty new. And see if we can get a collective meditation together. Well, we will do it. I have Scorpio rising. Where there's a will, there's a way. We will do it. And Sagittarius, eye on the goal, at the target. We're going to put together a meditation where we're going to meditate for 20 minutes all at the same time. Because as I said before, meditation has been proven to lower crime rates. So please come back, because I want to keep you posted about that. We need a lot of people, and we have a lot of people. And the people have the power. Like, I pull the strength card a lot when I do readings about this country, and the people have the power. There are more good people, lots more, exponentially more good people. The reason we have these heinous, horrifying, demonic forces in our government is because of the corruption and the greed. It's all about the money. Follow the money. We all know that, right? Okay, so if you'd like to book a personal reading, please send me an email, AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Pretty much everything that you want to know comes up in a reading. You don't even have to ask me any questions. It just comes pouring through. AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. You can email me with any of your thoughts too. And thank you for your kind comments. Please subscribe, and thank you to my new subscribers. Things are looking good. Really, I promise. Things are going to get better. Whole division. All right, namaste. See you soon. Bye.